It's a warm welcome back to On Cue Billiards in La Mesa. This is another Mothlike TV special presentation. It's a full-length challenge match between myself and Ken Lautner, this time in the discipline of 8-ball pool with BCA rules in effect. So far, we've played sets of 10-ball, which Ken won 7-5. And we played 9-ball, which he battered me 7-1. I'm hoping to equip myself a little bit better in this discipline. 8-ball pool, I'm used to playing on the bar box table. And so it's a different game played on a 9-footer, although a lot of the principles, fundamentals are the same. The actual gameplay itself, because of the extra space and the playing area of the table, is different. Taking the stripes, didn't want to catch that point on the short rail, so that's kept my cue ball over to the right hand side. I wanted to try and get more back to the center of the table where I had options for the 13 or 11. Just looking if there's any possible pot available. The 13 will pass the 2 in the left side. So right now I feel as though I've got to just play an attacking shot. I'm sure there's a safety option there. You know, if I'd have rolled down to the 10, for example, I wouldn't have left him very much. But I'm not playing that kind of game at the moment. But I think perhaps it might be worth reeling in some of the attacking tendencies, especially against this player who's very adept at taking advantage of mistakes and opportunities. So looking at the 7, I think in the top left as you look at the screen. And that's a nice pot. So options from here, looks as though he has to take the 2-ball. I don't think he can get through to the 6 because of the 8. The 3 won't pass the 10. The 5 doesn't have a pocket at the moment, certainly not one of the bottom 2. But the 1 is up there at the top of the table. He could potentially try and hold for the 1 if he has the opportunity to do that. It might be a bit thin to hold, in which case he'd be coming back down the table. He's overcut it. Looks as though maybe he was holding for the 1, the way he left the cue ball. So my opener here is the 10-ball. The 12 is slightly tricky for me, as is 13. Just a little graze on the 12 there. And I think that's left me in no man's land. Not sure what would have happened had I not got the graze. I still think I would have been a bit struggling. Looking to see, can I get through to this 11? I don't think so. So it's a cross-side bank on the 13. Keep things going, and I've overdone it. And overcut the ball. Cue ball comes around and finishes fairly favourably. I'm not sure if you can get past that 13 to clip in the 2. As though there may be a tiniest of edges, but sometimes you aim to miss the 13 and you miss that as well, or you clip the 13 on the way past. But he can't see the 3 or the 5. He can see the 6. You can also cut the 1 in from here. Bring the cue ball back down table. He's obviously weighing something up. Yeah, it looks like he's shaping at the 1. Maybe that was the path of the cue ball. He wanted to come back down and approach the 4. Oh, he's just played safe, but that's a direct scratch. So with ball in hand, generally the principle is you deal with your biggest problem first. Well, I think I can just pop this in off the 2, solves this particular problem. I'll have the 9 to follow. I think I can stop this for the 11 and then negotiate a gap through to the 14. And I'm just dropping it forward. Have I gone too far? Well, I've missed the 9. That is careless. Very, very careless. Wonderful opportunity. Presented Ken with a nice chance. I think maybe I was guilty playing more cue ball position and just took my eye off the pot. But that's one thing about this game, and I think no matter what standard you attain, you're always prone at a certain point to just putting a slightly bad stroke in and missing a ball you should always pot. Obviously, the better you get, the less frequent that happens. But I find it's still quite a regular occurrence. As he takes this 6, he's tried to free the 5, but it's not worked out. It is free for next time, but he's not got a shot on it, so I think he's playing the 1 or the 2 here. If he wants to attack, that is. Of course, could play defense. And he's not inclined to play safe, and that's why he potted a really good ball there. I was distracted because he just flicked the 5 with his cue as he pushed through. I just told him to put it back. I can just drop this in and he should be on the 5. He's tried to stun it. Don't know, maybe you need to draw back a little bit. Has he left enough space to get past the 12? Oh, lots of space, yes. Even though that did graze the 14 as it went in the pocket. Okay, so it's a cut back into the blind pocket on the top right. You're going to draw this with a bit of left, I think. Not too much left, just to get it to come over to the left long rail and back out. Yeah, no need for anything dramatic. That was a really nicely executed shot. Didn't try and get too close to the 8. Trusted himself to be able to pot a ball like this. And this is for the first rack. A nice finish from Ken. So winner breaks in this format. He'll be breaking rack 2. Let's see what kind of break he's got. Well, he did a great crack of the balls there. One flew straight in. I think it was the 9 in the bottom left. Quick look at the table. The 4-6, sorry, the 4-7 interfering one another. The 6 is in an awkward spot. Apart from that, the rest of the solids seem okay. The stripes, I suppose they're all available. You certainly don't need to be doing any breakouts. And yeah, I think the stripes are favourable over solids because of the 4-7 and because of the 6. So the pattern he's looking at here, he seems to have stunned out for the 14. You could take the 14 and get rid of the 13 as well, because it's connected there. You don't want to leave it isolated on its own, but if you do play the 13, probably you'd be looking to get on the 11 next. So you want a little angle here. He's a bit flat. Yeah, that is a little bit flat. It could take the backspin route where you stun off this or draw and the cue ball's going to come back to the left corner or towards there. Could try and get that, avoid the 4-7 that way. Alternatively, you've got to follow forward and you've got to put left English on it, but he seems to be stunning this one. So he's trying to come left ways. And he's got a shot right up the rail here. This is good. Just looking if he stops the cue ball just there. He'll have the perfect angle on the 11 to go up table for his key ball. Just double checking. He wants it. Got to be precise with this. Millimeters count. Nice pot. think he's pulled back a bit too far. Just makes the pot tricky when the pocket's blind. And now the cue ball's going definitely towards the 8. He's got to try and find a gap if he wants to miss the 8. And he just pointed to the rail there. I think that's what he wants to try and do. Find the gap between the 8 and the long rail, come round. Pretty sure 15 will pass the 3 in the top right. Tricky pot this though, tester. Makes a nice shot. He seems to be coming around perfect. Looking good here for 2-0. And really nicely executed run out here. Nice and steady. Completely in control. So Ken, 2-0 and breaking the balls in rack 3. Got to see if I can cut down the unforced errors in this rack. And another almighty whack of the balls, but this time coming up dry. And they're all separated. I think the 2 might be slightly obstructed by the 13. So there's a negative point for the spots. Also the 1 is kind of tied up, but it does have a pocket available at the top left. But in terms of openers, I think that might dictate what I actually go for if I'm taking an offensive option here. I don't have a stripe to shoot at. I think stripes are favourable, so I don't want solids, really. There is a shot on the 7 in the top left, sorry, top right, but I'm just going to play a safety here. I think I've let the cue ball go a little bit though. I wanted to try and keep it by the first diamond on the left, by the left pocket there on the rail, so he had no shot. But now he's got a shot on the 15, so I think he's going to see this straight away as the opportunity that it is to take stripes. So my safety slipped there, and I've ended up with the inferior suit, assuming of course he pots this 15. I can't see him missing it. He's just saying that I appear to want him to take spots. Well, of course I do, but he's not falling for that. He'll follow forward here, he'll find the short rail. Just got to watch out when he bounces off that he doesn't collide with the 9. He's got to find a way to avoid that, really. Here, I think that was always on, but it's worked out quite nicely actually, putting the 9 over the corner, left in the 12 in the side. He wants to ignore the 9 for now. I'd be inclined to do that, because the 9 could be a little saver for later, but he may also think you can just play the 9 with a bit of right-hand English. He could actually play for the 11 right now. But no, he plays that with a bit of check side, so he's taking the 12 first, keeping his work tidy, working his way down the table, not wanting to leave any balls behind. So dropping this in, following forward for the 11. He's got a shot on the 13 right now if he wants it. Drawing back, he would likely touch that too. I don't know if he can get past it and get up, because then he'd have to draw back when he looks like he's taking it on. He's got to draw up the table for the 11. I don't think he's going to find a gap for the 10, but I think that's the 14 next to the 5, next to the 1 even. Yeah, so he tried to, yeah, he's done all right there. I think that 14 goes in the top left. I think he's pretty straight on it. Not sure if the cue ball's natural path is to run into the 1 afterwards or go to the right. But that will determine whether he plays for the 10 or the 11. He seems to be pulling back a couple of inches for the 10. I stopped it dead. Missed 14. And I don't think he got his shape either, so I have a chance now. I'm pretty sure I've got a shot at the 1 past the 11. Can also go for the 3, I think. Not sure the 6 goes. I'm looking at the 1. I mean, you've got the 5, 7 both go in the bottom right. Oh, missed cue. Missed it completely and got away with that. I finished on the 3. That's a bit fortunate. 7 also goes for me, but it's a bit close to it. I think you take the 3, then the 6 in the middle, roll forward. You've got a choice of 5 or 7. You know, the tricky thing is to get into the 4 just with that 3 stripe guard blocking access to it. That's the thing that's going to make it a little bit tricky. Looks like I might fancy the 7 here. Yeah, just a little drawback. Oh, that's another none of those miscues. Terrible shot. What is going on? Give up ball in hand. I mean, the 3 was simple, straightforward. I don't think the 7 was the right shot there. But that was 2 miscues on the spin. And I'm not sure it's anything to do with the tip. I think it may have been something to do with striking, aiming at an extreme edge of the ball, and then perhaps a bit of body movement, bringing the tip offline, and then you just miss hit. And I'll look at that later in slow-mo. Meanwhile, Ken has got a nice finish here. He's overcooked it though. He just needed to be straightish on that 10 in the right centre. He'd been able to stun it for the gap for the 8 in the bottom right, but now things are different. He can still cut it in. Mighty fine. But he's got a cue ball that's going to be going at pace down towards the bottom of the table. And then whatever spin he puts on it to try and control it. Tried, hit it too thick. Has actually banked it and put one of mine in. So now Ken's on the 8. I must play from here. So nothing easy here. You've got to try and find a way to hide the cue ball, or you just go out and out attack. What do you play? What do you play? Well, here I think I'm just going to try and push the 4 in and follow forward. So if it misses, he doesn't have much of a shot. Now, if you attack the 3 here, you're definitely going to sell out. So I think I'm just going to try and leave the cue ball down here in the bottom left of the table. Just had a horrible flashback to what happens. I scratched onto. Of course I did. That is a stinker. Slightly frustrated by that, but ultimately, I think I've said before, scratches are not unlucky. There's only one person directing the cue ball, and that's you, the shooter. And if it goes in the pocket, you put it there. The pockets don't move. It's just careless. And Ken had a commanding position. So he is now 3-0. And his dry break has left me this situation. Just trying to work out what's favourite. In terms of openers, go for the 14. I want stripes. It's the easiest. Could perhaps try the 2 ball if I wanted spots. But I think, number of reasons. The 1 is blocked, but I think you can get to the, is that the 14? No, it's the 5th. What is it? The 11. Yeah. But the spots, the one's blocked. The 7 is on the side round, and that's the safest spot on the table, that either left-hand centre pocket. So I'm going for stripes. potting this with a bit of right English. Maybe I'll collide with the 10. But colliding with the 8 instead. So there's a combo there. It's a bit tricky. Don't think you want to really take that on. If I take the 13, I'm going to collide with the 1 or the 11 or both of them. You could try and just roll it very gently and just promote the 11 over the pocket. That's what I tried. That has not finished very nice. I actually hit the 3. And so, don't be too disappointed. You didn't get the line you wanted. So I cannot play that ball. Not sure I can see enough of the 12. Oh, it's the 15, sorry, I'm going for here. I appear to think it pots, the way I'm queuing up at that. Looks like I'm trying to just roll it in. Just finding the bridging a little bit awkward in that corner of the table. Yes, and just scored it a little thin. It was going to the left of the pocket. But not left an awful lot. That's a pretty good cue ball. I think he's got the combo. 3 onto the 1. You want to attack that way. You could also take the 2 in the bottom, in the top right. Let's get it out of the way here. But, he seems to just be playing the cue ball down table. He's just blocking the path. Well, that was the plan. But he didn't reach the rail, so I've got ball in hand. And what I'm going to do immediately, I think, is try and clear that 15 that is just tied up. It's a pretty straightforward shot up the rail. Just give myself a little angle. Get the cue ball out and away. We've got the shot on the 12 at least after this. And then just cutting this in, I should hopefully have a shot at the 11 no matter what. Be lucky to get on the 10 with the 8-4 where they are. Oh look, kiss the 5. There is a chance you could play the 11 for the 9 here. That's the way I think. You just try and go over to the right hand long rail and then back out. You need to get out at least halfway to get that 9 in the side. So just try to stay above the 3. Oh, kiss the 3. But do you know what? That might have turned out nicely. I think I've got a shot at the 9. But I've got to get on the 10. Looks as though I'm slightly below the pocket line, so I should run to the long rail and then come through. I found a gap. I found it all the way through. Yeah, it was too hard. I mean, if you could have played that softer, you might have had a shot into the bottom left. But yeah, the way you played that, there was, once you got past, I mean, there's no telling, then you've got to find that gap. Does this pass? Well, look at that. It does, just about. A bit fortunate there. I didn't play for that. And now the 8, I think, the way I've played that obviously passes the 4, so just a little bit of care, and I should get myself on the scoreboard here. Take this 4th rack. Well, that feels a bit better. Bit of confidence returning. And then giving him a good almighty whack, making 2 stripes off the break. And these are nicely open. Have I got an opener on the stripes? Can I see that 9 ball? Is it the 9 or the 13? Looks like the 9. Well, I think I remember this scenario now. It's coming back to me. I think I take solids here. So obviously that shot is not available to me. I'm looking at I can put the 14 in that corner, but the cue ball's going awfully close to the scratch. So in the end, I think that puts me off playing this 14. The solid's all right. There's 7 of them, as opposed to 5 stripes. But they're all really accessible. You've got 3 in a line there by that top left corner. And the 6 to be the connector. So these 3 down the bottom of the table are also the 5, 2, and 7. They're also really quite straightforward. So I think I'm going to take the 2, draw back a little bit for the 7, which passes the 6 into the left centre, then try and get the 5 and use the 6 to get on those 3 and then clear those 3. The 8, of course, doesn't have the bottom left pocket, but it does have the others, certainly the other corners. So I think he'd probably try and get below that. So just a little drawback, inch or 2. A little bit more than wanted. Slight angle on this, but I think I'm okay. To just push it forward and leave a little angle on the 5. Nearly straight, not quite. Looks a bit flat. Seems to be getting down quick, aiming at the bottom, so I can just draw up for the 6. Yeah, now I'm going to go into the 12. So that was not the best shot in the world. You're playing for the 6. Just a little bit of care and attention. You've got a bit straighter. You could have played that shot either as a follow forward, or better still as just a draw back. Just to draw back into the middle of the table where you'd have had a choice of all 3 of those. So a little careless. I think I played that last one a bit too quick. So with this, once you hit another ball, you're relying on luck. You don't know exactly how you're going to hit it, and you can finish good, you can finish bad. I seem to be trying to draw even past it, so I've drawn into my 4. Well, the good news and bad news. I'm on the 1. The 4's gone safe. The bad news. So now I've got to try and find a shot from the 3 to the 4, and I think it's a shot to just finish below the 4. Take it in the top left. Once I'm below it, it's easier to get on the 8 anyway. So what angle? I want to be there. Just above the pocket line. So I've got the angle to just draw straight back from the 3. I know I've got to thread the needle between the 8 and the 4. Might be better off playing off one rail, but I think I'm playing this to do the straight draw. So you've got to judge the line now. It's not quite a full ball hit. It's a little thinner than I first had thought. Spin, spin, spin. Yeah, unfortunately that's not what you wanted. You don't really have a shot here. Can't play anything attacking. Holding my hands up, but you know, it wasn't the best line of approach, I don't think. If I'd have played the cue ball off the right hand long rail, I was trying to put the 9 in there. And yeah, they got the cue ball to come down. I've got to miss the 15, but then if I could have found the short rail and I'd have had a better chance, I think, of getting on it. Anyway, it is what it is. I've given him ball in hand. He's asking me why I didn't take the stripes. So basically, I was hooked on the 9. I didn't like the angle on the 14. Yeah, he's got a point though. There was only 5 of them in the 8s. In the end, that was my own doing. So Ken with the 14 in the side, still twittering on about the previous choice of shots. I mean, whilst we do have a modest side wager on this set, as we do with all of our sets, we're still trying to, both of us, help one another improve. So it's not a bad idea to have these little discussions about tactics and strategies and positional play and so on. Improving, and that's what we're both trying to do. So he's got the 15 coming around 3 rails. He's gonna probably end up taking the 9 here. It's not ideal on the 12 ball. Oh no, he's taking it. He's happy to play the cut in the top left. He will finish nicely on the 11. And that was a better way of playing it, because wanted to leave the 9 there till the last minute because it's protection. Should he miss, stop me getting the 8 ball in that pocket. I think he's not going to be able to get too close to this now, but it shouldn't be too difficult to get yourself nice and easy on the 8. Probably playing this, just playing ball and just play 1 rail out. Well, he's finished a little bit low. He's not cutting that in, I don't think, although might just be on the verge of cuttable, but it's extremely thin. I think a bank and yeah, he's doing cross-side bank. Yeah, so in the end, his choice of shot on the 9 was the wrong one. He should probably have played a little bit harder with a lot of left-hand English, and that would have taken the cue ball to the right-hand long rail and then back out. He's put it too far up the table. And so I have a chance to steal. I think I can avoid the scratch in the top left if I just roll this in the top right. The cue ball is going to finish close to that corner pocket, but I think it makes its way over to the short rail. Somewhere like that. I'm not going to be able to get ideal on the 8, but I think I can, if I can get more or less in line, I can get that 8 in the side pocket. I'm just deciding whether playing at pace or just rolling it. I think it's more of a drag. I'm definitely hitting below centre. And then just widen the angle enough to miss the scratch. And this is a shot where you just got to aim for the far point or the far side of the pocket and stay as still as you can. Try and keep your head down. Don't hit it too hard, but nice and firm enough to get your stroke straight. There we go. So fight back continues. It's now 3-2. And a nice break there. Plenty of balls down and an opener on stripes. That's what I'm looking for. I think I've got an opener on stripes. I think I can see the 13. But my problem, whenever I've done really nice break-off shots like this, is I get a little bit too excited and I play a bit quick. And that's what I've done here. And that is unforgivable. Such a golden opportunity to break and run. And the only way you can fuck it up is if you follow that 13 in. Anyway, the moral of that story is overexcitement is a big risk. Particularly, it happens when you've just played a fantastic shot, you've got great shape. In this instance, you've done a great break and the balls are all open for you. It's very easy to just get a bit carried away and get ahead of yourself. You've got to just take your time, take some pace, bit of breath, walk around the table, work it out, calm yourself down, and express gratitude. Say, yeah, I'm thankful for this opportunity. Thank you for this great chance. But don't get ahead of yourself. You've still got those shots ahead of you. So even here, Ken has found a way to make it difficult for himself. He's drawn back, so he's hampered, queuing. Yeah, and that was all it took for him to also miss. So we both messed up our golden chances very early in this 6th rack. And I've got to look for a shot here on the solids. Not sure I can see the 7. One's out. In fact, the only well, there may be two shots, but I think the only shot really is the 4 in the bottom left. I can try and get the cue ball to follow forward and maybe come below the 9. Possibly leaving that safe. Try to get on the close to the bottom rail. And the 3's pretty easy in the right side pocket with the 7 there. You don't really want to move the 7. But I think this, unless you could actually just try and roll this and try and leave the cue ball on the right long rail over there in that corner. But I think I may leave him on the 9 if I play it that way. Too thick. Yeah, and that's not left him safe. He's got a shot at the 9. The natural path will be going down towards the 14. He plays this just pocket weight. I think he can hold it just off one rail. Otherwise you're playing multiple rails, and hitting that second rail is now slightly out of line, but he's actually lined up perfectly in the bottom right, so I'm not sure that was his chosen pocket, but it'll do. And I believe he could just trundle this in, follow forward, and he'll have the 8 in the bottom left. Maybe using that long rail again for shape. That's a great shot. Really great shot. Whatever else has gone before that shot was worthy of winning the game, I think. And now just a little stop shot. And it's 4-2 to Ken. Yes, 2, puts himself 2 in front again. He's breaking, rack 7. Don't want to let him win another one. I've really got to try and get my way back into this. And that's a great break. Both of the second row balls went in each side pocket. And he's got another 2 over corner pockets. So it looks like one of each went down. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 2 solids went down. And 1 stripe. So solids, the 5 is the difficulty, isn't it? With stripes, well, you've got the 10 and the 9 as the difficulty. So what do you do here? You could play the 9 onto the 5 to knock the 14 in, but then you may lose that pocket. Was he thinking of playing the solids there? I don't think he's got an opener, and he's the opener on the solids. I think he's got to be stripes. So, it is. Taking the 12. He'll have automatic shape on the 15 in the side. And he's going to be travelling down towards the 10. Or travelling up towards the 10, but I'm not sure what pocket he's going to put it in. And he's just gone round the back of it. Yes, Sheely was trying to knock the 6 in. So now he's got a cut on the 11. Cue ball's travelling up once again towards the 10. Maybe try and knock that. Oh, he tried to get up there, I think. Had a lot of spin on there. So, you don't really want to take the 6 here, because that's stopping him from getting the 10. So 7, and can you try and get over towards the 5? Oh, that top just swerved the cue ball. So, what do you do now? You could try and move the 5 straight away. And then, yeah, my ball is out there. I was actually hoping to knock the 14 in. But now, all my balls are out in the open. He's still got one tied up, so strategically, I think that was the play. What's he looking at there? Trying to see if the 4 passes the 5, maybe. Because he could, of course, just roll his ball onto mine, put mine in. He could try and put them both in one shot, and that could give him the game. If he got that, he'd have to play a lot of draw and get the 10 to hit the 6 full ball, and then it would continue following forward, because the draw on the cue ball would transfer to a little bit of topspin on the 10. I think that's the only way he can really win straight away. I mean, he could try, okay, combo the 9 onto the 14 and move the 10, or try and put the 6 in. Yeah, but he's hit the point. It's gone wrong. Unfortunately for Ken, the 9's come up to help him out. Still got that problem with the 10 ball, however. And this angle on the 9 just takes him further down the table. You know, if you can try and play all the way down, hit the short rail, and then get all the way back up. I think maybe that's what he's doing. Yeah, and this time, way too much English. Didn't get close to it, but he might have a shot at the bank here. Gives him a path to victory. If he can bank this 10 in the corner, he'll be naturally going down table. But a little bit too thin, cut it too much, so a chance now to steal. May as well take the 6 now, there's no benefit in keeping it there. But it looks like I'm going for the 5. Okay, trying to come across for the 4 in the corner. Just try and drop this in. And now it's got to be the 6 and come out for the 3. Just try and get a little bit towards it. Don't get too close to the rail. Oh, that's no good at all. Completely lost the cue ball, come all the way below it. So I think I'm going to go for this. I think I'm committed now. It's got to go in the top left. Get the cue ball over to the right hand side for the 8 in the top right. Don't think I need to put too much backspin on it. I don't know why I'm going so low on the cue ball. As I'm trying to come almost 3 rails for the 8, which is not really necessary. I suppose you want to avoid a line that takes you towards that right hand bottom corner pocket, and that is somewhere you don't want to end up. I've played this with right hand side. I'm walking, very confident. I thought I got that as soon as I hit it, although it did go in off the rail, but nicely up for the 8. And this really should be 4-3 now. Keep yourself together. Nothing flashed. There we go. So I get the break. Rack 8. This to draw level. Can I break? Can I manage? Give him a good old whack. And the last drop of the ball almost is the 10. And what's to follow? Well, those cluster of 3 stripes, 13, 12, and 11. And the 11's available. It's a good ball to go into the others. Just seeing the 6 and 5. Did they pass one another? Because I think I'm going to take the 1 in the side here. Got the 2 as an easy ball up next. I'm a bit of a distance away from the 5. Even if I could make it from here. Maybe the 4's the ball. Yeah, let's play the 4 and play up the table. Get rid of that one. I could even try and get on the 3. And it's not bad to have the 3 as the key ball, maybe. The 2 or the 3. Try and get all the way down for the 5 now. Would have been better if I could have made it all that way, but I'm better on the 2. In fact, I'm on the 3 as well. Choices. Try and draw back for the 5. And just looking exactly where I need to be to make that 5. That would be the key to unlock this game. We'll get the 5 in hole for the 2. That'd be straightforward to... I've come a bit far, have I? Come a fraction too far. So now, I'm on the wrong side of the 2. 5 won't go. What are you going to do here? And now you've got to try and play above the 5-6. The 5 will go in the bottom left, the 6 will go in the bottom right. You've got to get the cue ball above those 2 balls. So you can easily come down the middle of the table. You don't want to hit either the 14 or the 9. Or the 8 for that matter. Let's just see which side. So straight into the first ball. Yeah, that was a bit loose, let's be honest. Poor positional shot, and then that was a poor effort to get round. So I'm just playing the gap between the 2 balls and push them over each corner pocket. Look, nothing easy here for Ken. Those are completely offline. And I don't think any of the 3 clustered up there go to any pocket either, so you've got to be careful here. Don't want to leave me a shot, one of mine. But he does want to try and open up some of his. He's just trying to hide the cue ball, I think. That's not bad at all. Is this a little tiny swerve? I think you can judge this. Am I going for the jump stick? I'd rather swerve than jump this, I think. And it's not a big jump. You're only jumping over the very edge of the 9. So you don't have to put a lot of elevation on it. You do need to do, keep your line. If it's too thick, I've drawn enough. Scratched. You guys don't say enough in this country. It's a billiard term. And in-off is actually a scoring shot in billiards. If you go in-off the red, you get 3 points, and in-off your opponent's cue ball, you get 2. So that is what an in-off is, when the cue ball goes in-off another ball. But yeah, I think in looking back at that, I would have been better off playing the slight swerve. It wasn't much, and you're guaranteed a much more finessed finish. So now Ken's got cue ball in hand and can open up this little cluster. Not sure if the 12 will go. Maybe able to put it in the right hand half of the pocket, because it wouldn't be able to hit it too hard. The 11 goes for sure, but it's not the desired path for the cue ball. You're taking the 12. Trying to do a little draw back, I think. Oh, just almost a stop shot. The 11 in this top right. He's very close to it. He may have to jack up a little bit to avoid the double hit, and also to get a bit the backspin on it that he needs to avoid hitting my ball. He wants to try and get around and back down the table a little, so bottom and right would give him running side when it hits that left-hand long rail. And then that would give the cue ball the acceleration it needs, so hopefully make it around the 3 rails and back down table. But he's caught it too thick. He did collide with my ball as it happened. But not left me an awful lot, it's got to be said. And that 11 finishing right over the pocket gives him quite an advantage. It just means it's a lot harder for me to play safe, because you can pop that ball from about 90% of the available area of the table. The only way you could make it safe is if you get the cue ball hard on that long rail somewhere, and even then it's available in the corner pockets. And I think I've got to try and cut the 5 in here. Not nice from under the rail, and you're not really going to be able to get any juice on the cue ball to get down the table for the 7. So all you want to do is try and play both long rails, so the right hand side, the left hand side, and then get back across as far as you can to the right, and you've got a chance to cut the 7 in. Yeah, I mean, if the cue ball finished somewhere near the 5 where it is right now, you'd be as good as you could possibly be, I think, from here. Just too thick. Just too thick. So Ken gets to walk to the table with just 5 stripes remaining. The tricky one is probably the 15 over on the right side. You would think he would take the 9 right now, and he could actually play a little bit of backspin just to nudge into that, or he could just play out for the 14 in the bottom left. If he were to get dead straight behind the 15, he could feel confident about just rolling it into the side pocket, but you want to be right behind it. Oh, he hits that pretty poorly, it's got to be said. Misses the cut by some distance. So I've got a natural angle here. I can play this bottom right, and I see it's a little Z shape that the cue ball's going to take. It's going to come down, hit this left hand, starts off hitting the right hand long rail, but then I want to try and hit somewhere near the middle diamond on the rail, just under my body. That's where the cue ball should hit. Right there, that's perfect. And now down for the 7. Little flat, as always. If I could get $1 for every time I finished flat on my last ball, I'd have a lot of dollars. But I can just about pinch it to the side rail, and then the right hand side is going to take it all the way out. And it just pulls up in time. I thought I did it too hard, but I'm good. This is 4 each. Feeling a lot better now. Getting a little bit of confidence and some momentum. Can I take the lead in this set? Well, I made one off the break, and the second one, no, just the one. So looking at the table, the stripes look great straight away. But oh, it's coming back to me now. Yeah, I'm recalling things on this game. I played a combination here, just these two, but I think I could have played the 9 as a 3-ball combo. So as a consequence now, I'm playing between the 9 and the long rail. I don't want to miss, don't want to make contact with that. Try and leave the 9 in that corner. I think the 3-ball combo, albeit a little bit tricky, it would have been a nicer start. It would have made solving that little 3-ball problem up there very simple. Whenever you're drawing, stunning. You've got to gauge that line correctly. So I don't want any kisses and cannons here. But what I've done, I've drawn too much and I've finished right under the rail. I'm going to have to take the 11. And the 11, believe it or not, is extremely tight past the 6. But I'm playing this a bit too quick. I should be taking my time in. My plan's gone wrong. I should have walked around and reevaluated. And as a consequence, I played a poor shot there. I wasn't really sure exactly where I was going with the cue ball, and I hadn't really resolved my issue with the new plan. So goes under the heading of rushed it. Didn't think enough. Didn't really put enough reconsideration into the fact that the previous shot was a bad one, and I was having to change my plan. There was also an option, thinking about it now, I could have still probably played the 9 and just come around. So that's also worth thinking about. Suffice it to say, that's all history now, and Ken's at the table. He's got 6 balls to go at, and the 7 passes the... he's going for the 2. The 2 also passes the 12 into that corner. Almost drawing to the pocket. Oh, he's left himself awkward now. He can't take the 5. The 1. Gonna have to take the 7, and it's just not nice when you're bridging it out of the pocket like this. It's a true test of cueing. Jacking up a little bit. It'll start slight bit of elevation to give him some downward striking. That's a lovely shot, got to be said. Not easy at all from where he was. The 5 stands out as the next shot to me now. But the 6, it's a bit limited where it'll go, and he has a shot on it now into the top pocket. But it's the 5. Maybe playing just to finish above the 3 in the bottom left. Oh no, he's come round. He's got to kiss the 8 here. And he's got the 3 in the same pocket. I think you can push forward. What's the tangent line looking like? He's going to hit the long rail above the right hand centre pocket. If he is, he could maybe hold for the 6. He will have a shot at the 1. That's just floating it in. He's looking at the line now. Where does the line go from that 3? Oh, he could end up bouncing off that long rail and coming out for the 6 in the same pocket, actually. Oh no, he's trying to cut the 3 in the side. Really overcut it. And he's left with the 10. Or the 9, actually. Yeah, I think little stun with left. Even a draw shot with a bit of left. Was reap rewards, you're pretty sure to be on something. Depending on the line you end up coming back at, you'll always be on the 13. Just don't hit it too hard. And I did really I whacked it, didn't I? Not a nice hit. Not a nice cue ball either. I got quite fortunate in the sense I've not really left him anything easy. But that was not a well finessed shot by any means. Overhit it quite considerably. And whenever you put extra juice on the ball, chances of accuracy being maintained reduce dramatically. Looking at the 6 in the top right, I think. Always in the cue ball all the way around the 3 rails down, up table. He's put my ball in and double kissed the 6. And what do you do here? I think the 10's the favourite. Yeah, push it in. Just top. Don't really need the right English. You could end up over on the left-hand side of the table. The only option there at the 11. Could try and just stun this and get out, but I think it's a bit straight. So it's top. I'm actually putting top and right on it, aren't I? Yeah, just getting up because people just, obviously, it's just a billiard hole. There's no tournament on or anything, but people tend to just walk right past. I don't like it if I'm just down on the shot and somebody's doing that. I'll get up and reset. Yeah, so that was a tiny trace of the right hand side. Come out nicely. I think you just drop this in, just bounce off the rail, you'd be on the 12. And now I'm just below the pocket line, so I can play up table, either directly or using one rail. I think I'm using one rail. It gives you a better angle, a better line of approach, bigger margin of error as well. And I'm redeemed myself, missing this 11 in this side pocket a little while ago. And so the 8 puts me in the lead, and I've not been in the lead very much today, so I'm feeling better now. I go 5-4 up, and I've got the break in rack 10. Can I get to the hill? Come on now. Good old smash, but am I going to come up dry this time? I'm afraid so. what kind of damage have I done? Looking at the table, 2 stripes on the left side rail means that they are not favourable. The solids are all open. There's a little congestion around the 8, but everything has a pocket. So starting out with this 7, probably draw above the 5. Oh no, he's tried to go nice and gently and stay below it, but missed the pot. So what's he left? I think the 4 is the most favourable. The 5 you can play takes you up table towards the 1. If you can cut the 4 in the side, avoid the 3 on your way towards the long rail, you will finish on the 7. Get rid of the 7 and the 2, make your way up table, play over the other balls. Just getting the potting angle set in my mind's eye. Got to be accurate with these side pockets. Also just making sure my tangent line is just gonna pass the 3. No need to put any special effects on the cue ball. But look at that, I've cut it too much. And I did kiss the 3. I didn't really finish good on the 7. So all the things that I was saying beforehand all kind of went awry there. I think solids are still the best suit, so I think Ken's looking at this 4 ball in the top left. I think he needs to hit it particularly hard. It's kind of bit of bottom, bit of a drag shot. Well, that's not favourable. He's actually knocked the 6 to a safer position. He has got shape on the 1, however, and he's also got a shot on the 5. I think the 1's the shot to play. But he's now arming and hurry. He's not happy with his pattern. I think he played with bottom and right on the 1. You could perhaps steer the cue ball back and a line towards the 5. Oh, he's taking the 5 right now. Probably following forward to get rid of these balls down below. And I think he's left side at 3. I'm going to go for the 6 from here. You've got to get it sometime, so now as good as any. And the good thing about this is, having left the 1 there, all he's got to do is really just drop this in, and he will have a decent angle on the 1 to get back down the table. So quite good thinking, actually, after his initial mess up. Although he's close to the rail, he's got sufficient angle, I think. He's got to be careful when playing this with pace. You generate a lot of topspin. It can kind of like loop the cue ball into the long rail and cause it to kind of like stay more in the top of the table. So if you could get a bit of left English on it, that'd help a lot. You see the loop that the topspin did, but the line was not particularly favourable. But I think he's just managed to squeeze through. He can get to the 7. He's really done well, because the 2's not a nice cut from here. If he's got a shot at that 7 ball, I just don't know if he can hold below the 12 for 2 or 3, probably 3. He doesn't really want to be taking it all the way up and down. So he could be playing the most delicate of shots. He's bridging from great height. I don't think he needs to be quite that high up. Yeah, I think that top hook will be enough in the moose head. Give him the elevation he needs. That's a lot better. Just breathe on the 7. That's good. But does the 2 pass the 3? I think the 3's got to be taking some of the pocket away from him. I'm not sure he'll be wanting to play the combo 2 onto the 3. Because were you to do that from here, you're pretty certain to lose the 2. And a bounce off the short rail and go up table a little. So Is he trying to make it in the corner of the pocket? No danger. You just put it in the right-hand side of the pocket. That was all you needed to do. And I think here you just do a delicate little draw shot. Very soft. And just get the cue ball where he put his tip, and you'll have the 8 in the side pocket. So here's a case of less is best, and less movement of the cue ball, less it can go wrong. And that's pretty good. He now looks dead straight on the 8, or just a little bit shy of straight, where you can play this at pocket weight. Just let it drop in that side pocket. And it'll level the match up again. It'll be 5 each. And Ken will have the break this time in rack 11. There it is. He's not going to miss that. Let's see what break he's got here. The cue ball is flowing off the table. So I'm gifted with ball in hand to begin this rack. 2 solids are not wired. They're not set to the pocket, so that makes stripes more favourable in my opinion. All the stripes have pockets. What's the more difficult one? I mean, the 12 is a bit tricky right now. You might want to take that. Simply because of the balls, the spots that are nearby that make it difficult to get on properly. Then the 10 and the 13 both go in this right side pocket straight after, so you can play down a little bit for them. But hang on a minute, I'm still taking the solids. I don't understand that, to be honest. At 4-3, unless the 4-3 are wired, they must be wired. I didn't think they were. Thought they were pointing at the long rail, but obviously they must be set, otherwise I would have taken the stripes. And there's a poor shot for you. I was trying to draw back with reverse side off the long rail. Still spinning that cue ball. A lot of body movement on that shot. Now we'll see if this is wide, because I'm going for the jump stick. I'm going to jump over the 14 and smack into that 3 ball. But just to look a little bit where the 3 ends up. There'll be a lot of pace on this, and also where the cue ball ends up. Just going to try and keep the line as good as I can. Oh yeah, they were wide alright, but look at that cue ball. Really? Yeah, I think I'm cursing my lack of rolls at this point. Got myself right behind the 8. I'm going to try and kick this one in the left centre. And well, at least it was a good hit. No ball in hand given away, but he's got a shot here. 15 inside, I think. It's not dead in line. It's a bit tricky because he's quite close to it. But he's made a couple of these good shots where he's been quite close so far today. He's putting backspin on, I think, take himself over to the long rail on the right and then back out for the 12 in the left side, or possibly the 10, 13 in the top left. He just tried a little draw back, but hit it a bit too thick. So I have a 3. What do you do with it though? The 5 doesn't go anywhere. Is that the 5 or the 1? Maybe it goes in the side, but how do you get there? Well, you've got the angle on the 6, but you're threading the needle a little bit with the cue ball. You're trying to get to the long rail and then finish above the 1. I mean, this is dead straight, this 3. All I could possibly do is try and draw back for another angle on the 6. Slightly better angle to get above that I'm going to call it the 5 ball. My last spot anyway. It'll be. Just looking exactly where I need to be. I mean, it's got to be a very precise draw shot. I think I've said before, this is one of the toughest shots to judge. You'd much rather be playing a follow or a shot with topspin than trying to do a deep draw and stop on a sixpence. Just below the pocket line on the 6 is what I'm aiming for. And they're sailing on by. Well on by. So, assuming the 6 will pass the 12 in the corner. Just. So you've then got to path the cue ball through that little gap and around, and then perfect on the 1. So this will be a good one if I can make this. There's a line there. Too thick. Cue ball did pass through the desired position and then out the other side, and the cue ball has 6 fell in as well. Good measure. In case Ken's advantage wasn't big enough. It's even bigger now. But he's still got a couple of issues to solve. I mean, first up, you think he would just take this ball. I think it's the 14, which is next to my last solid. He'd take that in the bottom right, get rid of it, and just run the table. You do that now because now you can put the cue ball in on the pinpoint spot that you need it to be on, whereas if you were to play any other shot, you then have to try and guide the cue ball to that position yourself, natural shot, which makes it a lot harder. But he's thinking. He could, of course, just play to break out. That's 14. You could put the 13 in the side pocket very easily and flick into those. He would be unlucky if he was to not finish on the 14 or possibly the 9. But he's thinking and thinking. Trying to work out a pattern in his mind. Oh, he doesn't like that one. This is the one. Yep, get rid of the difficult ball first. Here we can just play a little drawback for the 9. Just make sure he gets past the 11. No. He misses. 14 puts it on the bottom jaw. And so he's given me an opportunity now. I can just stun this in and just get the cue ball to just give you a shot past the 12 ball with that 8 that's waiting over the corner. This is when you really must punish a mistake. You've been gifted this opportunity, you've got to take it. Can it clear my head? And then getting down, making sure I'm feeling right. Put a nice stroke on it. That'll do. And now I've got a hand on the table and get comfortable on this. There we go. So I am on the hill, back in the lead, 6-5. Come on with a big break. Oh no, not that big a break. I've done what Ken did. Toss the cue ball off the table, so I'll go and sit down and wait and see what Ken can do. Is he going to level up here? I'm thinking it might have a hill air about it now, this game. Looking at the table, I think stripes are better. That 3-6 makes it a bit tricky. The 8 goes. So the 12's also a little bit difficult to get on because of where the 1 is. So you might actually want to take the 12 first here. He's going for the 14. Yeah, I might just put the cue ball below the 1 a little bit and just play the 12 and then out the rail for this 14. Then the 12's out of the way, whereas now he's got to finish just right. He has done. Fair enough. He can get the 12, but if he was to play the 12 here, he's going to have to negotiate all that traffic, so he's going up table. The 12's being left isolated for now. But I think he can make it here and maybe avoid traffic, can he? You just don't want to hit that 4 ball. That could spoil the party. If he tries to draw here, he could maybe get above the 8. Find that gap between the 1 and the 8 and get up table a little. Hard to see where he's striking his tip, but otherwise he's got a lot of traffic to miss. Yeah, that's what he did. He drew through the gap. And that's perfect. Bit thin on the 13. You've got to take the 10, I think. Just looking now, which one offers the best shape to get up table. He wants to try and position the cue ball where he's just indicating with his tip, which is just a few inches above the 1 ball, in line with the 8. So yeah, if he plays the 13, comes across the left-hand side of the table, it just leaves a simple shot cutting in the 10 to come 2 rails for that shape that we just talked about on the 8. So it should really be coming over to the left-hand side of the table here. I mean, it's going all the way back over to the right, so he's relatively flat here. He can play it, but he's going to have to put a little bit of juice on to get the cue ball down where he wants it this time. A slight bit of downward striking, just stunning a little, and a bit of left. Actually, that's perfect. Look at that. Really nicely played, Ken. So we're going to have a hill game, folks. This is what the crowd came to see. More exciting. And Ken will be breaking in the final and decisive rack number 13. Which is unlucky for some. What who's it going to be unlucky for? Gives them a big smash. Ball drops in. It was the 6. And the 7 is waiting. If he wants to take the solids, he can take that all the way up table. And I think that's the best option as an opener. You could, of course, take the 11. But that 9 and 10 are clustered around the 8. The 8, I think, is, strangely enough, it's available into the bottom right and the left center from the correct position, I hasten to add. But I don't think he needs to play a breakout to run the table here. Simply play a follow forward on the 7. He will have shape on the 5. He can play the 5. Just got to avoid that 11. Or he could just play forward up the 7 with a bit of left. Like that'll take the cue ball up towards that corner of the table where his other 3 balls are clustered. But looks like he wants the stripes, so he's obviously seen a pattern that he likes. Let's see what it is. Okay, you drop in the 11. Now what do? You're going to drop in the 15. We're going to drop in the 9. I don't think he's finished exactly where he wanted to be. And the 9 would be an easier angle to play to the side pocket, but he's gone slightly past the potting angle. They would be colliding with the 8. So he's taking the 15. No. That's near Joe. So his best laid plans are in tatters. And I'm coming to the table with a nice opportunity now. I'm thinking the 7 is the shot to play. But then, that's me right now. The me back then, he's got the bridge out, he's looking at the 5. Yeah, it's probably a little thinner than it looks, that 7, and maybe harder to control the cue ball. This way, he's just drawing straight back. Or am I going to draw into the 7? I'm not quite sure how straight it is. Yeah, I've drawn into the 7. So that, I'm afraid, was rubbish. Not put the 7 in a good spot, and certainly not put the cue ball in a good spot. So, having to take the 2 from under the rail. It might be close to the pocket, but it still needs to be made, this. Yep, hit it too thick. I think I was slightly disappointed from the previous shot. Got down and just played that in a bit of a hurry. May have gotten away with it, I think. 14 and 15 are both lined up, so you can't make in the side pocket. And I'm pretty sure the 4 is blocking his full shot at the 12, so be interested to see what Ken comes up with now. He appears to be looking up table. It's focused his attention on the 12s. But now he's changed his attention to the 9, as though he's trying to cut this in. Past the 8. Oh no, he wasn't. He was merely playing a safety. Maybe trying to put the 9 on the 7 and leave me safe, tucked up here down below the 3 ball. I'm not much in the way of attacking options. I think I'm looking to see does the 3 go all the way up table past the 13. But I'm just playing it up the table now, trying to combo in the 4. Not a lot to go at here for Ken. They must have a clear path to the 13 now. This is a viable option. Bit of bottom. And he just kind of dragged it, he like pulled the cue a little bit. Just caught it a little bit offline. It's a bit thin, this 3, and you're going to be clattering into the 4 ball. But I think it's my only reasonable shot. I could go for the 7, but I'm hampered queuing, I think, with the 1 ball where it is. I could just try and hide the cue ball behind the 3, of course. And that's what I've done, but I've grazed 3 first. Needed to miss the 3 and just catch the right of centre on the 4, and that would have hidden the cue ball and blocked off 13 and 14. You can see he's got shots open there. He's actually slightly hampered queuing, but he's made a couple of these so far today, and that one is also well struck, and he's fallen nicely behind the 13. Could it be developing a slightly ominous feel as Ken is working his way through these balls? If you were to just stun this in, stop shot, don't have to hit it hard, he will have another in the opposite centre. He's played forward and he's put it on the far jaw. The only thing in his favour, the 13's rolled all the way back and interfered with the 1 ball. So a little blessing there for Ken. A little saver. He could have left the world, but he's not quite done that. Just trying to flick the 13 and I've missed it. Where's my cue ball finishing? Very close to the 2. I think it's still makeable. Pretty thin. You kind of like playing away from it. Want to make sure you don't hit the 10 and send the 8 ball moving around the table. Yeah, this 7's also quite a nice shot. Bottom and left, I can play for the 2 very easily. Sorry, the 4 ball in the top left. Let's bring the cue ball above the left centre. looking at that line now. I'm going to play the 2 instead. Oh, sorry, the 4. Looking, call the 4. So the third shot I've looked at. I'm going to try and move the 1 here with the right hand side. I did. Yeah, I think that was kind of a bit rushed. And considering it was such a dramatic shot, I don't think you really stacked yourself up quite as much as you needed to for that big shot. And overcut the 4, and now you have left Ken a great chance, because that 1 was also blocking his last safe ball. So in breaking it out, you've done him a big favour. What's his line like? When he's coming down for the 9, nothing else from here. And the 9 is no good unless you can do something with it. It's pretty flat. Roaring back's not much of an option. You could follow forward. I think the 10 will go in the left centre. I'm not 100% sure from this angle. But he tried to draw back, he went straight into the 7. Promoted my 7 very nicely. That's done me a big favour, actually. And he's not done himself any. Attacking shot-wise, he could bank the 12 past that 7. The 7 does make it somewhat of a large pocket. And in so doing, you could perhaps play down below the 10. Certainly wouldn't be leaving a lot if he were to play the bank and miss, if he put the cue ball down below the 10 here. Well, he's come, just missed the bank, but he's a pretty good safety. I think I'll just roll the 4 in here. It's hard on the rail, so fancy potting this. No spin, just ball and cushion at exactly the same time. It's like the way you kiss that 4, it just sticks to the rail all the way up there. Should be on the 7. And even though I played that a little off the rail, I still managed to form in. Pockets were generous, and I didn't hit it too hard. So now, if I play the cue ball to there, I'd be ideal. But it's a pretty small landing strip with a cue ball. And this is a baby shot, so just real slow. And I'm short. So now I've got to contend with hampered cueing. The one blessing is I really don't need to do an awful lot with the cue ball. I can literally just drop it in pocket weight. But I'm looking now to see where I get to with the cue ball from the 2. The 8 will go. The 8 will go in the bottom right. So you do not need to collide with them. What you need to do is be able to cut this in and miss the 10. So you're getting over there, then you've got to play it in the bottom corner. You just follow forward. I don't think I'm going to get over there. I think I'm just going to stop maybe 2 inches to the left of where the 1 ball is, because I'm going to hit it so slow. Get my cue as level as I can so I'm not jacking up as much. Just drop it in. And put it in the thick side of the pocket. So here we are. There's a choice of 2 shots. You could play it in the bottom corner, try and get the cue ball to follow forward and maybe hit in between the 3rd diamond in the pocket, but that's dicey. Could be a bit scratchy. Or you play the super thin cut to the left center, and then your problem is your cue ball's going to come awfully close to the 10. I'd want to miss the 10 with a tiny little bit of check side to come up in a straight line, just have the 8 in the bottom right. That's what I want. So playing this with a tiny trace of right hand side. But I do need to try and put it in the thin side of the pocket. Put it in the thick side of the pocket, I'm going to hit the 10. And I think I may have put it in the full hole. The 10's gone in. Well, that makes a big difference. Had the 10 stopped there, I'd have been looking at a bank and only a bank. But now, I'm going to cut this in. Absolutely cutting this in. Yeah, quite like my thin cuts. And the thing about the thin cut is the path for the cue ball is to go straight in the side pocket, but the 12's in the way. So that's one of his danger balls. So whatever happens, I'm going to move that 12. I might knock it in. I might knock it safe. But the priority here is to find that point on the 8. That point there that knocks it in the pocket. And if I can make this 8, it will give me the rack and a 7-6 win in a hard-fought battle here at 8 ball against Ken Lautner here at On Cue Billiards. And there it goes. Fantastic. It feels good to get a win on the board. So if you like this video, please smash that like and subscribe, and tune in again to Mothlike TV real soon.